Hello and welcome everyone, this is Georgia Barker and you're going to watch the second part of the lesson on articles in English. Part 2 focuses on the uses of the definite article the and also the cases when you must not use this article. As always during the lesson you have to answer some questions to deepen your understanding. Let's start by looking when to use the. First of all, we use the when we have already mentioned someone or something for the first time. For example, I have a dog. The dog is black. Here I first say a dog because I haven't talked before about it. But once I have introduced it to the sentence, then I say the dog because it is known to you. The second use of the definite article is with nouns which are unique. Most of the times, these unique nouns are also proper nouns. For example, the Prime Minister. However, not every unique noun is a proper noun. For example, the moon. The third use is with superlative adjectives or adverbs. We say, he is the most handsome man I have ever seen. Finally, the fourth use is with some adjectives to refer to a group of people: poor, rich, elderly, disabled, deaf, etc. Take a look at the following sentence. The problem is that the poor don't have enough money to afford the food. Those were the basic uses of the definite article then. Let's move on to find out more uses of it. The following uses have to do mostly with proper nouns, so let's find out which names need them. First of all, we have names of cinemas, hotels, theatres, museums, ships and galleries. For example, we have the Village Cinemas, the Hilton, the Globe, the British Museum, the Mary Queen. The second category deals with geographical features such as river, mountain ranges, groups of islands, lakes, seas, etc. For example, we have the Nile, the Alps, the Mediterranean Sea, the Canary Islands. Be careful, though, that in this case we must have group of islands, group of lakes, group of seas. Let's move on to the third case, with countries whose names include words like kingdom, states, republic, or have plural nouns at their name, we have to use them. In this case, we have the United Kingdom, the United States, and the Philippines. Moreover, moving on to the fourth category, we use them with newspapers and magazines. We say the Times, the Observer, the Economist. Moving on to the fifth category, we find names of musical instruments and dances. Somebody plays the guitar or someone else dances the tango. In the sixth category, we find names of families and nationalities ending in sh, ch or esc. We talk about the Simpsons, the French, the Japanese. The seventh use of the has to do with specific words: morning, afternoon, evening, and night. We will go for a walk in the afternoon. And finally, we have the eighth category. This has to do with historical periods and events: the Crimean War, the Middle Ages. In the introduction of our lesson, we discussed about the fact that there are some cases in which we don't use the. We omit the when we speak about things or people in general. We say horses eat grass, time is money. The is also omitted with sports, as subjects of study and meals. Take a look at the following sentences. I love playing volleyball. I have decided to study history. The third case is with proper names. Names of people, special days, elements, etc. We say John lives in London. Both John and London are proper names. The second example says, in nature oxygen is a gas with no color or smell. In this case, oxygen is an element. Unlike other names, names of elements do not start with a capital letter. The fourth category says that we also meet them with names of pubs, restaurants, banks, shops after the people who started them, ending in S. In other words, in the possessive form. We have Harrods, Mike's pub. Moving on, we find some mixed cases. What we mean is that the following categories sometimes need the and others not. First of all, some organizations need the Red Cross, the EU. Others don't, Greenpeace, International Amnesty. The second case now has to do with transport. We say, take the metro. But when we use by before a transport means, then we drop the. For example, we say by car. Language is another mixed category. In this case, where the word language is mentioned, we have to use the definite article the. There are a lot of Greek words in the English language. Otherwise, we omit it. They speak Greek and English. Here, the word language is not mentioned at all. Another case is numbers. With ordinal numbers, we use the fourth, whereas with cardinal numbers, we don't. Paragraph 3. And the mixed cases keep going on. As we said before, with continents like the Arctic and the Antarctic, with groups of lakes, of mountains and of islands, we use the. So we say the Antarctic, the Great Lakes, the Bahamas, the Himalayas. However, when we speak about all the other continents, such as Europe, Australia, etc., single lakes and single mountains or single islands, then we omit the definite article. We talk about Australia, Kilimanjaro, Ibiza, Everest. As far as universities are concerned, when the name starts with the word university, then we use the definite article then. Otherwise, no. So, we might refer to the University of Manchester, whereas we will say we go to Harvard. And at the end, we have places. When we go somewhere as visitors, then we have to use the before the word place. Her father went to the school to see her teacher. Whereas we don't use the when we refer to the purpose for which they exist. Mary went to school. She is a student, so she has to go to school. We reached the end of the lesson on articles. I'm sure that you now have a better idea about when to use the or not. Move on with your exercises. Thank you, Georgia Barca.